This video is not coming out to be controversial, not as a hate or troll video, but to simply educate you guys and show you better ways to take care of your baby chicks and chickens. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another MB Heritage Farm video. Today we're talking chickens again, and we're going to show you guys how to save a chicken's life with a sponge, and it works in more than just one way. You guys stay tuned. Now we have some new Midas Gold baby chicks. These guys are about 2 days old. They've never had a drink of water. We're going to go ahead and show you guys exactly how we set up our chick waters. Now there is a lot of mixed info out there on watering chicks for the first time. Today we're going to show you the absolute safest way to do it. Now the very first thing we're going to do is grab a pair of scissors and an old cheap car wash sponge, and we're going to cut that thing down into about a 1/2 inch squares. Regardless of what the shape is on the outside, we're just going to keep cutting it down into the same shapes, and then we'll show you guys what we do with them. So now we're going to take our squares of sponge and we're going to stick them down into the pool of the watering tray where all the water pools up at. Now these yellow squares will entice the chick to peck. Once they do peck those yellow squares, that sponge will release water and the chick will automatically know where to get water the next time. Now these squares will also act as a life-saving device, because a lot of times what happens, your baby chicks will get comfortable while they're sitting here drinking water. They'll get nice and warm and fall asleep. When they do fall asleep, their head will drop into the watering tray. Even if it's just for a split second, they will get water in their nostrils, aspirate, and later on could die of pneumonia. Now these sponges also take place of the head dipping method, which is an absolute dangerous way to be watering your chicks for the first time. And we're going to go ahead and elaborate on all the details right now. Now we know a lot of you guys believe in the head dipping method, or you've been advised to do so, but we absolutely advise against this, and here's the reason why. Now there are methods where you will see people take a baby chick and turn it upside down and shove its beak inside the watering container, get the chick to drink water. However, if you're not really careful and you don't know what you're doing, it's really easy to go past little nostril holes or just a little tiny bit further away from the beak. It's not that far of a stretch from the opening of the beak to the nostrils. Once you get those nostrils in past the water, instead of the baby chick dipping its head in and raising it back up to drink, they'll back up and start shaking her head really hard. These little guys' lungs are developed, but they're not developed strong enough yet to be able to eject that water back out of the nostrils. What's going to happen then is that water is going to travel down into the lungs. Baby chick will aspirate. The water will sit in the lungs for about, say, 7 days, and the baby chick will die. The person that dipped the chick's head in the water is going to blame it on everything except the head dipping method, because they had no idea they drowned their own baby chick. So you guys use that yellow sponge method. It's much better than dipping their head in water. I'm not saying I haven't done it before. I have did it, but I know how far to put that beak in. And if you see others do it on the video, they're not really down there microscopically gauging that beak to make sure those holes don't go in the water. Bad idea, guys. I don't recommend doing it. The yellow sponge method and your finger works just as good. And remember, your mother hen, they'll follow your advice. Now just after setting up the water, I got a really good video showing you the chick on the right is actually utilizing the sponge method, while the chick on the left is going to get comfortable, lay down, and fall asleep right in front of the water. And another chick actually wakes it up, but we wasn't really worried anyway, because the sponge was going to keep his head afloat, and we don't have to really worry about him aspirating. Also, there are a lot of people that like to use marbles and fill the watering tray up with marbles. They say it also attracts the chick to peck and drink. This method don't really work as good for the chicks drowning, because the marbles do roll around no matter how tight you get them. Also, once they've stayed in the water for about 48 to 72 hours, these marbles will start building up slime and algae. So the next thing you know, after the marbles start getting slippery, the chicks that do hop up in the watering tray will slip and fall, and the water and the marble technique is not really going to work good enough to keep the chick's head afloat. And if I was a baby chick, I wouldn't want to get a headache poking at something really, really hard while I'm trying to learn how to drink. The next thing that you're also going to hear people give you advice on is when you get your baby chicks, Grab you a Quail Water. We're even getting this advice from the big box stores that's selling you your baby chicks. Not really the best advice, guys. Number one, the Quail Water will work. It's only going to work for a few weeks. Once the baby chick's head gets bigger, it'll have to turn its head and whole body in an awkward position to fit its beak down in the more narrow, deeper tunnel of water. And then guess what? The next thing you're going to have to do is buy a chicken or chick water anyway, because once the chicks get to a certain size, they're just not going to be able to drink out of it anymore. The reason why is because they're designed for quail, not baby chicks. So if you're going to have to buy water anyway, you might as well buy a chick water, which was specifically designed for chicks, though right now it's not the best watering system for chickens. It is designed for baby chicks, and if you're going to have to buy one anyway, you might as well use the sponge method and get your chick water up front instead of having to buy quail water and then a chick water just a few more weeks later. Now guys, I know there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people, including YT channels, that talk about the head dipping method. I'm sure we're going to get some comments on people that say they've used that method for years and everything's been fine. So if you can change over to a method that is way easier and cheaper and safer, why would you not do it? As a chicken community, that's what we're all supposed to do. Learn from each other and teach each other. It's not about whose technique is right. It's about finding new and safer ways to do things. There's nothing wrong with moving forward in better ways. We hope you guys learned something. Thank you very much for watching. As always, like that little engine that could, you guys keep on keeping on, and we will see you on the next one.